back in the wild again. And I felt right at home where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before. Yeah.
Hi, you're watching Survivorman. I've been abandoned this time in upstate New York in a region of wilderness called Kirkwood. And I've got to find a way to survive in this place for the next 4 days.
The spirit of the woods is like an old good friend. Makes me feel warm and good inside. And I knew his name, and it was good to see him again. 'Cause in the wind he's still alive. Oh, Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back where I belong. Oh, Fred.
We're here at the campsite. We've got a lot of work to do before we can bed down for the night. We've got to clear the snow out so we can have a place to lay down. I'm probably going to try and find some pine branches that I'm going to end up laying on the ground to function as a bed. We've got to build a little lean-to over here. That means we've got to find some wood, some long stuff that we can lay up against this old stone wall so I can crawl under there. Hopefully we'll also have a fire sometime this evening and generate some warmth. Alright, let's get to work.
And it came from a tangle down below, and I tried to remember everything it taught me so well.
Alright, when you clean out your space, you really don't need to make it very big. The smaller the space, really, the better, because it's cold out here. You're not going to be able to generate a lot of heat anyway, so you're going to create a very small space in which to live while you sleep.
We're not alone when we're in the great outdoors. We got his spirit, we got his soul. He will guide our steps, he'll guide our arrows home.
I built my lean-to. I think it's going to work out okay. I still need to get a little bit of ground cover from some of these evergreen leaves. Put some more of these boughs down here in the ground because obviously the ground is going to warm up from my body heat and then from the fires when I finally get them going. And these are relatively dry, and I'm going to want to have these in the ground. Otherwise I'm going to get really wet. But I've got a nice little lean-to here, and this is going to keep me through the night. Alright, it's the middle of the afternoon. We're in upstate New York. It's cold, but not freezing cold. I can still see my breath a little bit. I'm stripped down into my t-shirt right now. And one of the first things you got to remember when you come out into the wilderness and you're trying to survive, you've been lost, something's happened and gone wrong, and one of the first things that can happen to you is you panic. And when you panic, you overheat. And you got to realize something. In the dead of winter, if you overheat because you panic or you try to hurry to get out of the woods, that could mean that you're going to die. Because what's going to happen is that all that sweat is going to create a thin film on your body, and if it gets really cold at night, it's going to freeze and you're going to get hypothermia. So you got to take time to cool off. I've been hiking a long time. I was starting to sweat. I could feel it happening. So I ripped off all my gear. I got my jacket. I got my Under Armour shirt under here, my fleece, and I just wanted to cool down. And that's what you need to think about. Hey, just like you can get overheated in the wilderness, you can get overheated in the desert of debt. Solomon, he chased the pleasures of this life, and he fell into emotional and spiritual debt. We chase the pleasures of this life, we fall into emotional, spiritual, and financial debt. We need to realize that just like there has to be a way to get out of this wilderness, there is a way that God has made for us to get out of the desert of debt. But we're going to have to trust Him, and we're going to have to obey Him and His principles for accomplishing that. And that's what this is all about, finding a way out of the desert of debt. Just like Solomon, as he did his best. Hey! Turn it off, turn it off. All right, just like Solomon, who went into emotional and financial debt. And for us, when we pursue pleasure, like he